Bioshock. We're doing all the collectibles. We're on the Comstock Center Rooftops, AA Gamer for Life. Okay, I'm throwing in some pictures of the maps and some of the collectible items in here. So if you're anytime you're confused about exactly where you're at in the map or anything to that effect, just click back to the beginning part of this video and you can kind of take a look at the maps and the layout of the quest here. So that's our rooftops that we're going to be heading off to. Okay, if you got the online season pass, your first items of 4 gear items will be right here. The room is also filled with infusions, which I'm assuming is just there. I don't think it's part of the online pass or whatever. But nevertheless, your first 3 collectibles are your first connectoscopes. They're right here. And I mentioned in the previous video that I'm letting the connectoscopes and the voxophones play in full length. So if that kind of annoys you, just feel free to fast forward a little bit if you're just concerned about where they're at. Okay, each of the items are only a few seconds a piece, but it does add some length to the video over the course of the whole quest or chapter, if you want to call it that, or level. Anyway, so when you first get into here, the bar, tavern, or whatever you want to call it, the little couple that you meet throughout the whole game is in here. And the lady has your first infusion that you would pick up to give you a shield. But there's also another 5 or so bottles around the thing, so you can go ahead and start your shield, but you're not going to proceed until you take the bottle from her. And so that's basically how that works. I don't know, according to the map, those infusion bottles aren't there, so that's very possible they could be part of the online pass. I just wish that part of that was a chunk of money or something. Money is a real issue in this game. You just can't get the goodies that you like in this game because of the way it rolls. And it's not that it hinders you much. It's just kind of frustrating. You know there's upgrades out there and you'd like to buy them, but it's just not going to happen. Okay, so these 4 items, as far as your gear, is part of the online pass. And like I said, according to the map, these other fusion bottles aren't there, but it might be just that they're mission related and not so much a collectible related. But anyway, if you don't have the online pass, you get a little look at the gear here. Maybe it's worth it to buy it. Having the gear does help you out. This electric punch has definitely come in handy throughout the game. It's hard for me to drop this shirt or vest or whatever you want to call it. I mean, 75% increase on your clip size. And you get your Dress for Success achievement, which is basically you equip 4 pieces of clothing, which is the 4 item slots that you have. You got a hat, a shirt, pants, and shoes, and they all do a little something for you. Throughout the game, when you find the gear, you can kind of pick and choose whatever fits your style. Okay, so like I was mentioning, in the bar here, there's several bottles of infusion here, so go ahead and pick it up and go ahead and start upgrading your stuff. I would this is my first time out. When I did it on 1999 mode. I actually put more towards the salt in the beginning part, especially if you're playing on normal or easy. I would put more in the salt. Your shield and health can take a little bit more, but the salt runs out real fast, so probably throwing it at the salt would probably be in your best interest. So anyway, those are the infusions. Like I said, you can't get by without grabbing this from her, and if those bottles aren't there and without the online pass, basically that's going to give you your shield.
Surprising that it didn't kill him.
I would definitely buy the pass just for those infusions if they didn't come in there, but right after you get your first shield infusion, just walk into the next room and your voxophone is right there.
The man pays for exactly 100
like I mentioned in the beginning part of the video, that I am going to let them all play, but I'm not going to try not to be standing there just while it plays. I'll be moving around scavenging. But anyway, also if you ever confused about where exactly you are in the world, in the map, or the level, just go back to the beginning part of the video and look at the maps. This is the first time I've actually ever put pictures of the maps on there, you know. With this style of game, there is no map to follow. Like, you can't hit the pause and look at the map. You know, sort of like San Andreas or any Grand Theft Auto game or Saints Row or whatever. You can pull the map up, kind of pinpoint where a collectible is. With this style of game, there's not. A lot of people will tell you go here, go there. At least this way you can always jump back to the beginning part of the video, look at the map. It'll tell you, you know, about what section of the world you're in and whatever. Okay, now this house that you saw me drop off the ledge, I hit the porch, I went down the stairs, and in this room is the optional quest chest. Okay, so you just go in there and try to open it. It says it's locked, and it brings up the optional quest. Basically means that you find the key, you come back to here, and there's an infusion and a big bottle of salts in there. And again, the money is kind of an issue for me. It just, the later part of the game, you'll get a little more money, but you just, you ain't getting what you really need. You know, you did an optional quest with a chest like that, or anywhere there was a cipher and a code. It would have been nice if they had, you know, $400 or $500 in there. Something you could really boosted your money up with, so you could have bought some upgrades.
There is something dear inside. Problem is,
alright, so you definitely want to get down by the quest chest anyway. The voxophone is right there, so you need to get in there anyway. So you just continue on with the level. You're going to go through a house with some printing presses. A bunch of cops are going to come out. Right outside their door is a little Western display or whatever. But right out here is the next kinectoscope and voxophone. So make sure to grab that before you continue on. Although you will be backtracking through this area once you get the key for the chest. Okay, how about there? Get the voxophone and then be on your way.
Comstock came by the wagon at dawn. Man was just transfixed by my trophy scalps. Asked about the white ones there. I said, well, sir, if your quarry dwells in the jungle, then
okay, so when you head into this mansion, House of the Crows or Ravens, whatever you want to call it. You walk in the door, and in a little bit, and on the left-hand side is a bar. You get a couple of people you have to take out, and then there'll be your next voxophone in there. That's what chops me. It's like, what I got, $167. It's like the the upgrades are at least starting at 300 and up. I don't know, they're just the money you get, and you can't sell anything, so just it is what it is. Okay, so after you take out these two dudes, nice. Take that.
No match.
Okay, once you deal with them, grab your voxophone. I think I might have forgot to take out a little bit of footage there. Like I said, this is just about the collectibles. I don't usually leave any action in there. We'll be doing a full walkthrough on the 1999 mode. There's very little that can prepare you for that level. Knowing the game obviously helps. And because you know the gameplay, you know the levels a little bit, but it is just a whole other style. You die very easily. You really have to try to work the enemies back to you. Anyway, if you continue on, then you come down into this big area. You're going to deal with a bunch of these crow people down here. You deal with the one boss that comes at you down in this little altar area. You get your next voxophone, and down in here is your fusion and the quest key for the locker or chest, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so grab the fusion. I have a friend, he's like, "Where was that key?" I'm like, "I don't know how you could have missed it." He's like, "It's right next to the fusion." Anyway, so basically from there you just backtrack. You want to head back to the house with the chest. Once you leave that Raven's house and come back into that little area where the western thing was, you will deal with a half a dozen or so cops down there, so it's just not a leisurely jaunt back here. You will have to deal with some bad people. Okay, open up the quest, and there's always an infusion in there, which, you know, that's fine. You got to get upgraded, and that's what those are for. But, you know, a nice chunk of money would have been nice to have in there as well. But
Just what the doctor
no sense
ordered.
kicking a dead dog, so let's move on. So once you get back to the altar area where you just were, continue on with the quest. Take the elevator, and once you come up into this round room with the projectors playing, obviously you can see that this bookcase is a different color, so move it out of the way, and you'll have a piece of gear in there, so go ahead and collect that. The gear is all about player's choice, you know, what works for you. Go feel free to, you know, hit your back button, look through there, see, you know, what's the best option for you. The one thing, like I said, I've come across a lot of shirts, but I've never really been able to make me want to drop the extra ammo. It's just nice to have. But there's one shirt that throughout the 2 playthroughs I've done, I haven't come across. It's called Blood of the Salts. Basically, when you kill an enemy, they give you salts, and, you know, the later part of the levels, that stuff would be very helpful.
We worship the Raven.
so that we might cover the city with eyes.
So anyway, basically directly across from where that gear was is your next voxophone.
Because it symbolizes the way.
So grab that and then continue on. Alright, you're going to come up into this grassy area where you're going to deal with one of these
What's
crow
this?
bosses again.
Kind of vigor.
And get your vigor for the crows. Murder of the crow.
That's a hell of a thing.
I actually, the first time I did this on normal, I didn't use it much. And I really struggled dealing with the handyman, but the crows will definitely do some damage to a handyman. Better than an electric shock does, and it'll definitely make taking out a handyman a lot easier having the crows. And again, that's like so many of the different vigors is such a big plus, but you cannot upgrade everything. It's just the way it is. Now there is some kind of money glitch that you can do with the Hall of Heroes, but when I heard about it, I was like, I'm definitely going to have to try this. But they forgot to tell you that it's only like $10 or $15. It's just ridiculous. So I'm like, there's no way you'd have to spend 4 days in there to, get any real money. It's just not worth the time to do it. Alright, so as you continue on, your last piece of gear for this level is there before you head outside. And once you head outside, keep an eye out. You see that barge right there to the left. It's got the telescope on it. You don't really need to hit a hook or anything. You just jump right on there. So make sure you grab that telescope. Alright, and that's going to wrap up this Comstock rooftops. So just make your way around. One of the patios there does have an open door. You go in there, kill some cops. There's stuff to loot in there. But nothing as far as like collectible goes, and then make your way to the door. And that's going to wrap up this level. AA Gamer for Life. We'll see you at the Monument Island. If you like the videos, you can always support us by checking out the ads.